The Shadow Education Secretary calls Gillian Keegan's Ofsted comments pathetic. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that the Shadow Education Secretary has called Gillian Keegan's Ofsted comments pathetic. Bridget Phillipson said the Education Secretary talk of punching inspectors demonises the office. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, you can hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So before we before I give my usual initial thoughts, guys, for those who give the context, guys, this is exactly what she said for the context out there, guys.
I heard recently, actually, a fantastic school I went into, and they told me how the Ofsted, their Ofsted experience had gone, and I was shocked. I mean, I was actually shocked. I thought, God, if I'd have met these people, I'd have probably punched them. They were really rude, and
We're not filming this, are we, please?
But, you get people who come in and, you expect people to be rude to you when you're a politician. You kind of sign up for that. But, when you're kind of trying to run a school and educate children and change lives, you don't expect somebody to come in and not be respectful.
Now, she's just casually saying that, guys. Just casually saying it, not thinking whatsoever about what she just said, laughing about it, thinking, oh, yeah, and a laugh at a joke here and there. It's all right to say that if you... No, it's not all right to say that. Let me take that back. It's not okay in any circumstances to say that you're going to punch someone. What kind of an example does this set to to kids, to parents, to, she's the education secretary and she's living saying that it's all right to punch people. That's literally what she's saying. There's a lot of words to describe the comments as not just pathetic, but a lot of words. But my God, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And she's a useless education secretary because she actually thinks she's doing a good job, when in fact she's not. She's actually doing a really crap job as well. And it just really does irritate me and grind my gears. I do apologise for not covering it when it originally came out, but it's just really, really frustrating that they can say these things and kind of like, these Conservative politicians, they say some of the most draconian and most pathetic things, and there's not really a cry of outrage enough about it, And this is one that really, really should be like triggered. She should get triggered by it because of who she is and what her position is. It's one of the most highest figures in education, and she's saying she's going to punch them. Like, that's just doesn't set any kind of example whatsoever. She doesn't know nothing about education, clearly. And the way that she came across and just joking and smiled and laughed about it, sort of thing, like, there's nothing funny about it whatsoever. Like, thinking, oh, it's no big deal, yes, it is. You're the bloody education secretary and you think it's okay to punch somebody. It's like Theresa Coffey when she was health secretary for Environment and Rural Affairs for a limited time under Liz Truss premiership, and then the picture just got floated around of her drinking with a glass of champagne or whiskey or whatever in one hand and a fag in her mouth, and it was just like these people just don't associate anywhere near the departments that they should be in any way, shape or form, or anywhere near government. It's ridiculous, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous. So Bridget Phillipson has accused Gillian Keegan of demeaning the Office of Education Secretary by saying that she would probably have punched Ofsted inspectors, describing Keegan's remarks as pathetic. If an ordinary person had actually done what she said, they'd be fined or charged with it. And actually done it. And actually literally done it. But she says that, she would probably do it, and she'd probably get away with it because she's a Conservative as well. That's how infuriating this is. Keegan told her head teachers conference on Friday she would have probably punched rude Ofsted inspectors, based on the accounts that she had heard during her recent school visits. Phillipson, the Labour Shadow Secretary, said Keegan's language was not benefited of the cabinet ministers responsible for schools in England. Now, let me just say this, because I have spoken about this before. Yes, there are some really nasty Ofsted inspectors. There's no question about it. Some of them can be extremely rude, extremely unkind, extremely unhelpful. And yes, there does need to be something needs to be done instead to deal with these inspectors, because yes, while they have a very difficult job as it is, does not mean that they need to be absolute complete jerks about their job either. And that's something that needs to be addressed. There's no question about it. But to simply say you're going to punch them, especially to say it publicly, like, it's just that's the thing that's kind of really triggered me. Like, I can understand if you would say those comments, off camera, behind the scenes sort of thing. I can understand if you would feel that way about them, especially how they treat you to teachers. I understand it from that perspective, but I wouldn't. You wouldn't say that publicly. Like, to say that you're actually going to punch someone, you're not. You're not really. So, and to joke again, joking about it, I'm regurgitating, but again, I understand the frustration of these Ofsted inspectors. It's very stressful for teachers. It's an absolutely bombing mad. The emotions that they go through, and some of these people can be complete bell ends, but there's a line, and she's clearly crossed that line. We know she has. This is sadly another example of the way in which Gillian Keegan has demeaned her office as Secretary of State, as to do so in front of an audience of school leaders, many of whom are themselves Ofsted inspectors, and take that responsibility very seriously is frankly pathetic, Phillipson said. So there are even Ofsted inspectors in there who are there as well. So she's basically saying to the audience, to some members of the audience, yeah, I would have punched you in the face if I get the chance. It's not behaviour that benefits a Secretary of State for education, but sadly we've seen many examples of such behaviour at a time when we need greater respect for education, where we need parents and government to work together to tackle some of the big challenges that we face. For example, around attendance, these comments from the Secretary of State do absolutely nothing to help that. Phillipson listed other examples, including Keegan's sweary outbursts about how she has performed as Education Secretary, as well as suggesting that children are likely studying in portable classrooms. She should just get on with the job and show the profession a bit of respect, Phillipson suggested. Yeah, her sweary outburst didn't help either. In a speech to the Association of School and College Leaders Conference in Liverpool, Phillipson also attacked Keegan's comment about the provision of special education needs and disabilities, with Keegan admitting that the system was lose-lose despite the government spending a fortune. Describing the challenges facing children and families with SEND as enormous, Phillipson told the conference the next Labour government will have to do better. With the number of children in England issue with an education, health and care plan surging in recent years, school and local authorities have found themselves unable to cope with the increases in demands for support and services, including special school places and therapy. Yeah, these things have gone up in England. It's just the handling of schools has just not been good enough. But it's also the funding has contributed to this as well. Speaking to journalists, she said, after 14 years, it will take us some time to turn it around. That's what I'm determined to do. If we win the next general election, it has to have an early focus on reforming the system and alongside the intervention far earlier in children's lives. I will say that, while I don't know Phillipson too well, I will say she will probably be better than what we have right now. I think that's I'm quietly confident of that. When asked more details about Labour's plans, Phillipson said an incoming government would need much fuller understanding if we win the election as to the full extent of just how chaotic the system has become. She said, I think families and children will have enough of a system that isn't delivering. They also have enough promises from politicians that just haven't been kept, and are not prepared to do that. Geoff Barton, the outgoing ASCL General Secretary, warned that the government's recent tax cuts spell more funding difficulties for schools. If, for example, you cut taxes before a general election, there is a price to pay further down the road. The quality of public service will suffer, Barton said. He said it was unarguable that schools in England have been underfunded over the past 14 years. This is a point here, 14 years of underfunding. On the current trajectory with declining pupil numbers and with such low funding rates, there is a very serious risk of schools like local authorities going bust, and in some cases, particularly small primary schools, actually having to close. Schools will have to further cut their curriculum options. There will be less pastoral and specialist support for those pupils with additional needs, simply because there won't be enough money to do these things. And that's the issue, is as time, time passes, there really needs to be funding is most definitely needed, but I know the situation where we are struggling with money. I get that. I understand that, and it's frustrating to say the least. But I do think education will be better. Under Labour. I really generally do. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to get fixed overnight? Hell no. It's going to take time. But we got to have something better than the Conservatives. I don't want another 4 or 5 years of Conservatives, guys. I really, really don't. And for all those who doubt Labour, and I doubt Labour too, man, come on, really, you guys want another 4 years of Conservatives? Really? You guys really want another 4 years of Conservatives? Because I do see that argument, for some people who are actually thinking, that they are so scared and so terrified of Labour that they would rather have another 4 years of this. Really? I don't understand those people. I really don't. But what I will say on the final points is that Gillian Keegan is a absolutely disgusting individual, because to make those comments and not even think about the context of where she's saying them and laughing it off like it's no big deal. Just another Tory minister that just doesn't care about you or your children or your problems, basically, and she would just rather punch you in the face. But what do you guys think? What do you make of her comments? What do you make of the Shadow Education Secretary's comments? What do you guys make of the current school system so far? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media and hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I upload another video. And if you want to financially support me and the work that I can do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.